In many ways, I don't think this player's legacy has aged all that gracefully, but make no mistake, Carmelo Anthony was one of my favorite players to ever set foot on the hardwood, thanks to what he brought to the table during his prime years. Sure, he had his flaws. He was nowhere close to being an elite defensive player. There were questions about his mentality, his work ethic, and on whether or not he cared about his buckets more than being a leader. There's legitimate conversations to be had there, but I think those negatives are far outweighed by the positives. For example, even when considering all of NBA history, Melo had one of the most complete skill sets as a scorer. Even Kobe Bryant echoed this sentiment in 2011.
Let's talk about challenges. Who is the toughest mark for you?
Oh, it's Carmelo Anthony, by far. His size, man, his strength, and he knows how to use it. So, he throws his weight around. But if you look at the games, look at some of the other players, LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, some of these other guys, they're either all the way to the basket or long range. Melo can post up, he can finish at the rim. He has a mid-range game. He has a three-ball game. He can pull up left, can pull up right, step back left, step back right. So that gives you a lot of options as an offensive player.
Beyond his scoring abilities, there is no question in my mind that Melo had a lasting impact on his franchise. Before Melo was drafted by Denver, the Nuggets were arguably the worst organization in all of basketball. In the 9 years leading up to Melo being drafted, the Nuggets averaged 26 wins per season. They had 11 wins in 1998, 14 wins in 1999, 35 in 2000, 40 in 2001, 27 in 2002, and 17 in 2003. Then Carmelo comes in as the third pick in the 2003 draft, and with the help of the recently acquired Andre Miller, Melo improves the Nuggets by 25 wins over the previous season, which earned him a playoff berth. That year, he averaged 21, 6, and 3 while finishing second in the Rookie of the Year voting. Although LeBron finished first for that honor, there is certainly a strong argument that it should have gone to Melo instead, as Anthony was more efficient from the field, from three-point range, and from the free throw line. And unlike LeBron, he also played in all 82 games that season. In a way, you could make the argument that Melo resurrected Denver basketball, because after nearly a decade straight of losing seasons, suddenly Melo made the Nuggets a winning franchise. Every single year he played for them. Throughout his time with the Nuggets, he started establishing himself as one of the most clutch players in the entire league. In fact, I remember vividly during that time, the debate was often between him and Kobe Bryant for the title of the best closer in the entire league. It might sound crazy in hindsight, but the numbers actually back this up. Since the year 2000, with less than 24 seconds left in the game, no one has made more go-ahead baskets than Carmelo Anthony, with a whopping total of 30. What's even more impressive is the fact that Melo made 37.5% of his shots in those situations. So not only does Melo have the most, but he was also the most efficient by far. Now with all that being said, it's no secret that Carmelo never won a championship during his NBA career. And sure, some of his shortcomings played into that, like his subpar defense. But acting like that alone is enough to completely disqualify a player might be a little unfair when you consider the fact that many subpar defenders have been able to win championships in the right situation. The truth is, Carmelo is one of the most unlucky players in the history of the game, as things kept happening throughout his career that kept undercutting whatever hopes he had. For example, at the very start of his career, the Detroit Pistons made a huge mistake when they took the 7-foot Serbian Darko Milicic with the second overall pick instead of Melo. Now things still worked out for Detroit as they had one of the greatest defensive teams in league history and went on to win an NBA championship that season regardless of their mistake. If they had taken Melo instead, then they could have significantly improved their offense, while giving themselves a reliable closer alongside of Chauncey Billups. It also would have enabled their defensive wing stopper, Tayshaun Prince, to own a role off the bench as a situational lockdown guy, in a way that would be similar to Michael Cooper on the Showtime Lakers or Andre Iguodala on the Golden State Warriors. This point can be debated, but I have a hard time seeing Melo not winning at least 2 rings if Detroit takes him instead. And if that was the case, we can only imagine how that would change the narratives about his legacy. After getting drafted by one of, if not the worst organization at the time, it took a while, but he finally had the support he needed to compete for a championship in the 08-09 season, thanks to the acquisition of Chauncey Billups. In the second round of that postseason run, Melo sent Dirk Nowitzki and the Mavericks home in just 5 games, as he averaged an efficient 30 points, 7 rebounds, and 2 steals. Then once again, he got unlucky, as he ran into Kobe Bryant and the Lakers in the West Finals, who were on an absolute mission that year. Despite the loss, Melo and Kobe battled in one of the greatest playoff solo duels that we've ever seen. Then he definitely shot himself in the foot by forcing a trade to New York prematurely, when he could have just waited for his opportunity to do it cleanly in free agency. But still, he should have had better opportunities in New York. But once again, his best chance was ruined by things that were out of his control. Like in the 2012 and 2013 playoffs, where they needed all hands on deck to take on the Big Three Miami Heat and the talented Indiana Pacers. But in both instances, their second best player, Amari Stoudemire, missed entire playoff games due to injuries. The reality is, when you consider the full context, Carmelo Anthony has a very complicated legacy. His defense, his ego, his conditioning, and how he handled the Jeremy Lin situation are things that are subject to criticism. But he was also an all-time great scorer, incredibly clutch, and was a big game performer. But unfortunately, it only seems like the negative aspects of his career are the things that are remembered today. But if you ask me, Carmelo at his best was a problem. And if the luck factor had just worked a little bit more in his favor, then I do believe he could have been an NBA champion, whose talent would be celebrated to a much greater extent in this current day. So what do you guys think? What is the best and worst thing you can say about Carmelo Anthony's legacy? I look forward to hearing your perspective in the comments section below. Shout out to the members for keeping this channel afloat, and thanks for watching as always. Make sure to like and subscribe for more basketball content, and I'll see you guys in the next video.